Good afternoon and welcome to Beyond the Lines podcast. I'm your host, Nikki Watson, on this wonderful Tuesday. Welcome, welcome. It is election day. Yay! It's one of the most exciting days every 6 months. It's just fun. It's just high energy. It's just there's a lot going on. There's a lot on the line. It's a very expensive project. All the counties have their own elections. It's like great. Okay, it's super fun. Always something going on. Always something going on. And so where will there be, well, there already is, right? Will there be things to report, you know? And so I must just the chirping. So welcome. It's a very, very fun day. I love working the polls. It's a very long day. You start very early in the morning. You stay maybe like 8:45, later than that if you are responsible for packing up like the machines. But then if you're the judge of elections, it's actually longer than that because you have to drive the USB drives and all the stuff. You have to drive that to your county courthouse, and then you have to wait in line, and then you have to submit it. So it's actually a really long day. And so it's very exciting. And so we're just going to go over a few of the things that are coming up already. And then we might get into some hagwatch, just for fun, all fun. So if we go to, let's screen share here. There is some things. Oh my gosh. Yeah. That freaking, did you guys see the Nick Fuentes New York Times freaking ridiculous. Let's screen share here. Let's go to X here. Do you guys see this? The New York Times wrote an opinion piece using that photo saying Nick Fuentes is becoming Charlie Kirk's successor. So I wonder if Richardson will pick that up. Okay. Karine Jean-Pierre. It's funny how she now she's not there anymore. Now she's here. Okay, let's go to, we're just going through basically, just looking to see what is here. Oh, this is actually this is an interesting piece or a viral video that I had seen earlier. We should watch this. It did come up here, American Papa Bear. But we said we were going to go do let's look at this first here so we don't lose it.
Now at 25 to 30% two-parent house. I know because I know the data, and I know that Black Americans have been voting for the Democratic Party for the last few decades. I know because I know the data, and I know that Black Americans have been voting for the Democratic Party for the last few decades since the 60s, and we are facing zero median wealth by 2053. I know that Black American families were two-parent households. A traditional family in the 1930s was 87%. In the 1960s, we went down to 65% when LBJ delivered his speech at Howard University. We are now at 25 to 30% two-parent house. I know because I know the data, and I know that Black Americans have been voting for the.
All right, cool. So that is work. So we're working here. That is American Papa Bear on X. That's what that is from. I'm going to just switch the thing here, the layout. So whenever I screen share, there we go. Okay. So let's go to Scott Presler. Love him or hate him. Let's go to Scott Presler. Hearing strong turnout in Republican stronghold of Pike County, Pennsylvania. So he specialized, so he's in Pennsylvania. I ask you to come out and vote no to retention. Flip over your ballot to fire bad judges. Go vote. This is what he says. Well, gosh, I have to be careful about how I word things and what I say things. I am reading Scott Pressler's X account. Okay. We're looking at it because we're looking to see what is he's on the ground in Pennsylvania. He's very involved in election registrations and turnout, and an advocate for the Republican Party. And so we're just reading what Scott Pressler has posted to his X account. These are not our words. Yeah, so it looks like there's maybe some issues in Cumberland County. Voters have been turned away. Oh, in Cumberland County, New Jersey. Right. He says here the PA State Department must immediately get more provisional ballots to every polling location in Chester County. Message received. Yeah, so you guys can see this, right? Can you see it? Can you see it? Is that what in the world? Can you even see that? I don't know. Yeah, so he says, we are on it. We have lawyers on the ground. I'm fielding every single phone call. Every election shenanigan is being promptly addressed. I've been up since 2:45 a.m. and I'm not missing a beat. Republicans, go vote. Oh, look here. So it looks like, yeah. So whenever I started the Rumble feed here, it looked like it looked like Mel was streaming to Rumble as well. And then it looks
all over
here,
the country that are illegal, basically. And we look even further in those friendly states and found that many of these people had actually already voted.
Yeah, so this is just streaming to Rumble. I had some questions about streaming live to YouTube, and so I would definitely consider that. It's Rumble is the lot is where I stream live, but with StreamYard I think you can probably stream to not just a limited amount of locations, but I mean we could probably do Rumble, YouTube, X. I wonder if Substack I wonder if Substack does the streaming with, I actually don't think they do. Or you may need to have so many subscribers to do it. Does anybody know about how that works? If you can stream to Substack while you're streaming to all the other things through the StreamYard. So yeah, so that's what's happening there. Now, so I mean the big race that people are interested in too, not just there's court judges in Pennsylvania, those are the retention of them, but then also the or non-retention as the other vote. The Mamdani situation, the Mamdani situation. Now, Trump actually sent out a Truth Social about not, or a social media post about not voting for the other candidate who, what is his name? Curtis Sowa, not voting for him and voting for Cuomo, saying like, I know you don't want to, but you know, this is the way to go. So now this guy right here, we'll just click out of here and we'll see what this guy's saying here. Just exit out of that so it doesn't start playing. Let's see what this.
Is none of that appeal to you and what you were looking for in a mayor?
Well, I don't think nothing is free.
City resident, tell me why you decided to vote for Andrew Cuomo.
I decided to vote for Andrew Cuomo because he has a lot of experience. He's been the governor of New York, and I feel like we don't want our city to go in a direction that's not, important for businesses as well as our regular everyday New Yorkers.
Obviously, Mr. Cuomo is not the front runner, according to just about every poll that's out there. You look at Zoran Mondani is the front runner. What do you think of him as a candidate? And none of the things that he was talking about appeal to you: affordable housing, making health care for children more affordable, free buses. None of that appeal to you and what you were looking for in a mayor?
Well, I don't think nothing is free. With a background in finance and economics and business, I know that it's important that you have to pay for things, even if you're paying for it at a discounted rate. You need to be able to pay for it. I don't think nothing is given free. I think it's important that we all should be able to work. I think job creation is the key to all of it. We must create jobs. We must put our people back to work. New Yorkers need to work. And that's what I think Governor Cuomo will do for us. He'll help us to get our jobs back and help keep our businesses here in the city of New York.
And Mr. Jackson, one final question. What happens if Mr. Mondani ends up being the city's next mayor? What are your thoughts about what his relationship might be like with President Trump?
I don't know if it's going to be that great, because I think President Trump, definitely wants to make sure that New York is in good hands. He's a New Yorker himself, and I feel like he wants to make sure that New York is in great hands. So it's important that age is important. I feel like we can't run things if we are not in a good age. I think 40 is pretty much the best age to run if you're running for mayor of this great city. If you're younger than 40, I don't think you can really do what we need. Age brings about wisdom.
Mr. Jackson, I want to thank you very much for your thoughts.
Age brings about wisdom. Isn't that true? Very, very well spoken, very good words. So I mean, people actually criticize Mamdani. Am I saying it right or wrong? Mamdani. They criticize him for his views, for his ideas about policy. They criticize him for his inexperience and his upbringing. Is he qualified, right? And they also criticize him for his age. So it's not just the obvious criticism, and that he is young. Other people have said that because he is so young that it's hard to put the leadership in the hands of somebody. And I think it was Andrew Schultz, that comedian, who was doing a shtick on his Instagram page. And he was saying that people are saying that Trump, or is Mamdani the Trump for the left. And Trump, I think, actually commented on this when he was being interviewed recently. He actually commented on this. And I would say that the answer is no, for multiple reasons. One is that he is not financially independent. He doesn't have the name recognition and the clout and the sphere of influence and the experience and wisdom, I would say, that Trump did when he ran. So, and then it's like, why are they running him anyway? If they want to make New York great again and do policy, and you don't think that they couldn't get any Muppet on board with that. Why did they have to roll out this character at this time? And he's had a lot of bad publicity also. So he has a lot of the where he has the different accents. There's been a lot of jokes about that with his, I think they call it code switching, where he speaks different things. He sort of says different things. Well, I mean, his history, just his, isn't he affiliated with the Disney Channel? So different things, different reasons why they are again just rolling him out as this appealing thing for the the socialite liberal that lives in New York City, I suppose, who wants to vote for him, and then all of their proteges who find themselves in New York City want to vote for him. Yeah, I don't know. And I saw a clip on X that they were saying that he was saying that trans care is going to be offered to anybody and everybody. So I don't know if they are being misled about what. I don't even know. I don't know who's like living in the city of New York. A good friend of mine works there, but he doesn't live there. So I don't know. And there was also some talk and chatter that businesses were saying that if Mamdani gets elected, that they're going to leave the area. They're going to move their businesses out. So we'll see. I guess the numbers are in his favor. I know that there is also a little bit of an effort and support for the Republican candidate, Curtis Silva. And so with Cuomo being the independent, I don't know. It's all jacked up, isn't it? So that's a big race. But there's other things going on in the country. I'm not sure exactly what they are, but you get what you pay for around here. So we'll just go to X and we'll see what else is going on here today. I hope everybody's having a beautiful day. Tuesday, the fall, it's getting cold. The sun is still out though today, thank God. Somebody posted too about the funding. Who was it? It's a girl I follow on Instagram. I've followed her for a number of years now. She said the federal shutdown has been wonderful because I haven't seen any chemtrails and the sun has been out. And I hadn't thought about it exactly, but we haven't had that many bad days. I don't know. This all my just anecdotal tracking, but not a bad point. I wonder if there's any legitimacy to that. Oh, here we go. Here, this is the this is the. Oh my God. Hold on. 6, 7. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. I mean, right. So, and I think that this is a fairly, oh, look, Chris Williamson. We watched Chris Williamson. I mean, it was probably 2 years ago because he has a podcast. But we can watch that too. I think that's very good. Well, and this leads me to question. This leads me to question. Was that playing? Did you guys did that not play? Did that not screen share? Did you just hear it? I mean, I guess if you just heard it, it was fine. So in one of the other shows that we did about media literacy, a lot of our shows lately have to do with media literacy because it's so important and so optimized. Or rather, we're optimized. But important. And we did some research on the Media Literacy Project. And one of the people that's in charge of it, Mike Benz, brought this up a few different times. He's done I think his video was originally from 2023 when he really started talking about this and how they wanted to bring it into schools. And the Media Literacy Project is actually what it's called. So we went in and we dug in a little bit into that organization. And again, one of the founders or somebody in charge of, I'm pretty sure founder, they originated the term election denialism. They go into how they created this word and that it really originated from talking specifically about the 2020 election. So they act like election denial. We did this whole thing, we'll look it up and we can link to the other video here, to the other show that we did specifically on it here when we went into a little bit deeper about the origination of the word election or the term election denialism. It was actually, yes, elections were questioned and dug into, but not on the scale that we saw. They just didn't like the fact that, and when I say they, I'm talking about these different factions that were doing the censorship industrial complex to silence President Trump at the time, and to silence his voters. And through different practices with censorship online, deplatforming, demonetizing. Also, there were, I think definitely in Pennsylvania, there was sort of this message that went out from the governor's office of like, you cannot question elections, or even questioning. So there was this really like, you can't, like, what does questioning elections mean, right? Does it mean saying that, we need to have transparent elections, that we need to have free and fair elections, that we need to have protocols in place where we can audit elections, election results, so that we can, like, how do you do that, especially with the machines, and there should be ways to ensure that we have one person, one vote, right? Because of all the anomalies that we saw. Audit the Vote goes into their research, also is from 2020, 2021. Well, I think they started, I think, in 2021. And then just canvassing and a lot of Dr. Frank's work. And I mean, all the people, all the grassroots organizations on their local levels going into these, going into this sphere of election integrity. And so this idea of election denialism, it was really just a way to label people and to silence them. I think of Seth Keshel's work because he just did so much there and in that sphere, and he's just one example out of a number. But so anybody that, again, what is this vague term, election denialism? And it really, I mean, now I'm like, no, we need to just look it up real quick, because we're going to go into one more election denialism definition. We're just going to look it up real quick. Okay. Don't be worried. Don't get all nervous. We're just going to look it up real quick. Okay. Hang on. It's all fine. It's all just a Google search. You can do this on your own. Okay. So we have election denial movement, the story of election denial in America. Now, see, these articles are from 2023. You see, now this one looks like it's not as recent, or this one, I don't know when, but if we just go to the Wikipedia page, the election denial movement in the United States this is what Wikipedia says, is a wide, can you see this? Okay. Is a widespread false belief that elections in the United States are rigged and stolen through election fraud by the opposing political party. Adherents of the movement are referred to as election deniers. Election fraud conspiracy theories have spread online and through conservative conferences, community events, and door-to-door canvassing. Since the 2020 United States presidential election, many Republican politicians have sought elective office or taken legislative steps to address what they assert is weak election integrity, leading to widespread fraudulent elections. Though no evidence of systemic election fraud has come to light, and many sites have found that it is extremely rare. All right. Okay. Aside from that, this is all part of it. You know what I mean? Like, we're just observing here, looking to see. Going back decades, some influential Republicans have expressed concerns around election security. Whoa. Wait a second. Context is going back decades, some Republicans. Wait a second. Trump has falsely claimed the Democrats are encouraging, illegal immigration to allow non-citizens to vote and create a permanent Democratic majority. How is it that clip that we saw with the Obama and what's his name? Yes. Don't you think that encouraging illegal people that can't, I'm speculating. I'm just speculating, but it would seem, but I sense that by telling people or encouraging people or being involved with people voting that are not legally allowed to vote, whether it be talking about it in that way or whatever, like that to me would seem like not okay. And that's not included in here. And do you guys remember that viral clip where it showed all the Democrats that were saying like the machines? Remember, it was like Kamala Harris and Hillary Clinton and somebody else, that Democrats had said that the machines are a problem for a few years now. So I don't know why that's not included here in the Wikipedia. Prevalence of voter fraud. Election experts have found that election fraud is vanishingly, that's an interesting word, vanishingly. Election experts have found that election fraud is vanishingly rare, not systemic, and not at levels that could have impacted the presidential election. Okay, so that's the thing, is that's the piece that they include, which is that, well, there may have been some shenanigans or whatever, however they say it, some fraud or whatever, but not enough to have affected the election results. That's I've heard that said before. And so origins of the movement. Okay, so if we go down to Professor Andrew Smaller and Dr. Jeffrey Cobb-Service believe this election denial movement began with the Tea Party after Obama's election, citing the birtherism conspiracy theories helping to dissolve trust in institutions and objective truth. Oh, we're learning so much today. See, it's just the energy of today. You know what I mean? It's just the good energy of today. The birtherism conspiracy theory. And then I didn't even know that was a word. Where's the birth certificate? During Barack Obama's campaign for president in 2008, throughout his presidency and afterwards, there was extensive news coverage of Obama's religious preference, birthplace, and the individuals questioning his religious belief and citizenship, eventually known as the birther movement or birtherism. The birther movement. See, I thought the birther movement was like women giving birth and like free birthing, home birthing, a midwifery model of care birth, giving birth, maybe, a physiological birth in a hospital, maybe with a doula, unmedicated perhaps. I thought that's what the birther movement was. I didn't realize that birtherism was a thing related to Obama's birth certificate. Other dates that have been suggested for the start of this movement include 2012, 2016, and 2020. Okay. Did you know that they don't recommend Wikipedia in schools anymore as a source? Can't imagine why. So here's disputed elections. During the 2016 Republican primaries, Trump alleged without evidence that his opponent stole the Iowa presidential caucuses after he had won them. Okay, Trump claimed without evidence that millions of undocumented migrants voted illegally for Hillary Clinton in the 2016 presidential election, costing him the popular vote victory. As a result, Trump established an election integrity commission in May 2017, but the commission was disbanded several months later with member Matthew Dunlap, the Maine Secretary of State, writing to Commission Chair Mike Pence and Vice Chair Chris Kobach that, contrary to public statements by Trump and Kobach, the commission did not find substantial voter fraud. You see, they just did him so dirty his first term. I mean, of course not. They're not going to. Okay. In spite of accepting the 2016 election result at the time, Hillary Clinton expressed doubts about that election in a 2020 interview. There was a widespread understanding that this election was not on the level, Clinton said during an interview for the latest episode of the Atlantic's Politics podcast. The ticket, are they still on air? We still don't know what really happened. There's just a lot that I think will be revealed. History will discover. Well, I don't know, Dad. Is that Bill Shakespeare over there? I don't know. History will discover, she said. The Democratic Party's 2016 presidential nominee continued, but you don't win by 3 million votes and have all this other shenanigans and stuff going on and not come away with an idea like, whoa, something's not right here. That was a deep sense of unease. Okay. Very good. I mean, we're doing it, guys. We're really, really doing it here. Okay, so let's go back. Am I on the right? Oh, guys. Ridiculous. Ridiculous, y'all. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. I can't even share the Wikipedia page. Well. Here we go. Let's just go back. Just for your reference, election denial movement in the United States. You can see it right there. I just read all of this. Sorry, the words were not aligning with the screen sharing feature. And my producer has the day off today, probably because they're working the polls. That's a joke, by the way. The screen sharing, you think you're sharing one screen and then, so without always checking and doing this disruption to my stream of thought, because I don't have a teleprompter that I read off of. Obviously, I have to keep going back to be making sure that we're all on the same page. The one woman show is what you get here, I suppose. So here we go. So this is the whole context that we just read. We just read all of this, the origins of the movement. We are getting to a point here, I suppose. I feel it coming on. During the campaign, Trump often referred to election integrity to allude to his continuing lie that the 2020 election was rigged and stolen, as well as baseless predictions of future mass election fraud, as he did during the 2020 election cycle. Without evidence, Trump told supporters that Democrats might try to rig the 2024 election. Many Republicans believe a conspiracy theory claiming Democrats engage in systemic election fraud to steal elections, insisting election integrity is a major concern, though voting fraud is extremely rare. Hold on, let's go down to the bottom here. This is actually really important to read this whole thing, okay? Mark Elias, a Democratic election lawyer, Richardson always promotes him, a Democratic election lawyer who defeated every Trump court challenge after the 2020 election, remarked, "I think they are going to have a massive voter suppression operation. It is going to involve very, very large numbers of people and very, very large numbers of lawyers." So they were talking, Richardson and the gang and them, were making these sort of implication, or they were insinuating that there would maybe, you may see something come maybe about these things, because people would say like, well, what are we going to do about this? You know, like, because they're saying Elon stole the election. These were their claims. Elon stole the election. Remember those viral videos that were going around of just, it looked like it was almost AI. We were tracking this a little bit at the time about, very blue and on it, about people. Oh man, we're gonna have to pull that video up because it was so strange. The person was talking like they were a cybersecurity expert. It was like a girl in her car. She was talking about like being a cybersecurity expert and then saying like, well, this is how he did it with Starlink and the machines and da-da-da. But the things that she was saying, they weren't making sense. It was like a word salad. But they were leading people on. There was this one lady on X, I remember her, who was like, just like they're gonna come after Trump and everybody who did this. And there was just like this, again, this like big blue anon thing on the internet about how Elon helped to steal the election with his Starlink and the machines and stuff. Do you guys remember that? And it was like, oh, this is so wild. Like, are they going to try and do MAGA face again? Are they going to try and steal what they think MAGA is? Like, MAGA is the real thing. And then they always try and sort of steal without, they want to make America great again by continuing to manipulate and mislead and make promises that checks that their ass can't cash. And they just don't have any integrity left. Like the Democratic Party, this sort of voter bloc, that's why they're rolling Mamdani out, because they're trying to rebrand in this sort of resistance way. The No Kings Coalition and all of these things that are very inauthentic, but to the demographic of people that it's speaking to, it's very real to them. So I could see how people would buy into the belief that Elon, because he has all this money and he is, tech bros with Trump and Silicon Valley and all this stuff, and they're going to, Starlink and connected to the internet, right? Because I thought the machines weren't connected to the internet, that whole thing. And it's like, these new kids talking about election integrity. Well, meanwhile, you had all these grassroots patriots for the past 4 years, literally giving up all of their money, all of their time, volunteering, traveling, speaking, working, doing the work, hiring, connecting, collaborating with people who were interested in like what happened and how can we make our elections fair and free and be able to be like transparent. Fair and free, as far as one person, one vote. If you're not legally allowed to vote, so, and then a way to then, once all of the votes are turned into the machine, so we've gone over this before, but whenever you go into vote and you click, it prints out a paper with a QR code on the paper. And so then, and it has the captions, it has everybody that you voted for. And then you can look at it and be like, yeah, this is everybody I voted for. And then you put it into the main machine that is actually what then goes and tallies, and it drops into a bin. And that's what's taken out with the final tally of everybody with the USB drive and everything like that. But that's the final tally, because like at the end of the day, all the precincts have to tape, like in the beginning of, there's a lot of rules actually. It's really fun because I'm a rule follower. We've gone over this before. You know, with big tech and stuff, we're not really sure what the rules are, so we're not really sure. So we just try and abide by the rules that we're not sure of what they are. That's why you know, I may get called a rebel at times, but I actually am a rule follower because I like to know the rules and then take pride in doing what I can to, you know, and that's actually why this whole thing has been so frustrating, and why people have been activated to get involved in local civics and election integrity, and with the pandemic and everything, is because we inherently saw rules being broken. We saw our consent being broken, our social contracts being broken. And so that's why a lot of people were prompted to get involved and say, well, this, you know, this just isn't right, you know? So I see why the No Kings has an appeal, because it taps into that innate, wanting to do the right thing and thinking that you are doing the right thing, except that they just missed the last 4 years. It's like the women, those two groups of people debating that we were watching about Black conservatives, but that there's you know, on the Richardson side, there's just in the audience, the demographic, there's this like, well, you can't kick Jimmy Kimmel off the air for, you know, freedom of speech. It's like, huh? You know, it's like they missed an entire era. It's like they didn't even, what were they doing? You know, like what were you doing during that time when everybody else was activated, you know? So it's like these new kids coming in saying Elon stole the election with Starlink. I'm quoting here. I'm not saying that. I'm making a quote. I'm quoting what other people said on the internet. It's like, you know, but the election integrity movement is already well far beyond doing that, you know, so, and already well ahead with putting things into place and getting familiar with how things are and how can we make things better. And actually on a local level, it's a bipartisan issue. Like everybody wants to have the ability to have elections that we trust, right? So I think actually what this was saying on the Wikipedia page here is that it was actually connected to the birther. What did we say here with the birther? Where is it at? Did I completely miss it? Where did I click on the birther, the birtherism? I can't even find it now, but it was talking about losing trust in institutions. It just said that. Oh, here it is. Citing the birtherism conspiracy theory is helping to dissolve. Oh, okay. All right, here we go. Professor Andrew Smaller and Dr. Jeffrey Kabaservis believe the election denialism movement began with the Tea Party after Obama's election, citing the birtherism conspiracy theory as helping to dissolve trust in institutions and objective truth. Okay, here we go. This was in 2023. How group identifications have contributed to our national discord. Why would that be linked there? That's just his most recent work, I guess. But that's not where. So there was a Washington Post article that was printed in May 2022. Characteristic mistrust of norms was evident from the beginning in its embrace of birtherism, the racist conspiracy theory that claimed without evidence that Obama was secretly a foreign-born Muslim and ineligible for the presidency. Social media accelerated the spread of such conspiratorial beliefs, which further dissolved trust in established institutions and objective truths. Okay. Now, so they've censored people because they claim that oh, you know, this whole thing that questioning elections or election denialism lowers trust in, it sows distrust in institutions. But what has the Democratic Party and those ruling elites what have they done already over the years? Do you think Obama's presidency built trust in institutions or lowered it? So this had been a problem for years. I mean, the distrust had been not just because people who have American citizens who are questioning things, who are questioning the election in 2020, they are the byproduct of distrust that had already been sown by institutions, right? I mean, I may be just speculating here, but it seems like it was not just, you know, it was sort of two prongs here, but also though that everybody's lived experiences led to that point, right? That it was the material conditions of society that led to the rise of Donald Trump, not Donald Trump creating a society that is divided and in disarray, whatever. I'm just speculating. So I don't know. And so my point here is that, and this is actually probably really interesting to read. I can read it in my own time and then bring you some thoughts associated with it. But this whole claim that election denialism is this bad thing, that it's been a long problem only on the Republican side, but it was really a term that was very much created to speak up, to shame and censor and silence and deplatform and debank, and at times prosecute people who questioned why the anomalies and the affidavits and the testimonies and stuff were not looked at, you know, and then the judges and everything that ruled against those things, those cases, because Mark Elias was, you know, excited about those, about saying, well, all these judges denied that there was, you know, they lost all these court cases, you know, and a lot of those had to do with having standing. So that's what they say is like, there was no evidence of it because all these judges said that they wouldn't even see the case, that they wouldn't even get to discovery, that they wouldn't even do it. Now it seems that Mark Elias is maybe eating crow because he's not getting anywhere with the lawsuits that he has been trying to do over and over and over again. And it seems that the Trump administration is only gaining steam and popularity and not the other way around. So going back to what time is it now? Going back to my sort of what I was leading up to here. Yep, we're at 45 minutes. Very good. Leading up to here is because just following Richardson, now that we've laid it a little bit to talk about how you weren't allowed to talk about elections, you weren't allowed to question, right? Or you weren't allowed to sow distrust in elections because it sowed lack of trust in institutions, which is really against our democracy, is what they would say. But yet, as I'm reading, I mean, really, if you think about everything that they say about Trump and his administration on CNN or any of these legacy media newspapers, it's like all they do is talk shit on our administration and everything that he's doing. So how is that not sowing distrust in institutions? So we're going to go to a clip of Richardson's, and we're just going to ask why. Let's go to this right here. I'm going to go to so Rumble is a lot less like with copyright and stuff. I mean, I had a copyright because I think I played something and it was a song. So like if you sing a song, but you don't play the actual music and you just sing it, does that count as a copyright? Because you know what songs in my head is that Nicki Minaj, duo thing. It's that trend. And the White House just played it today. So I don't even know. I can't even play it because there's probably a copyright with YouTube. I don't know though. All right. Here we go. It's so funny. Okay, just a little hagwash on election day. Just a little election day hagwash just for fun. Here we go. Okay. See, I don't even want to sing it. I'm singing it in my head, but I don't want to. I don't know. I need a consult. I need a consult on all this. All right. So look at this. Trump isn't in control of the administration. Like, do you think, no, I mean, really, like if we're talking about lowering trust in institutions, Trump isn't in control of the administration. Is this a good idea to be saying? Why? Like, oh my God, this is so funny. Look at this. Okay. This is cool how this is. Like, I mean, the fact that this is, I don't want to go into it, but look at this. Look at how this is set up, how it has like this image and then you can Control F, guys. Just look it up. I know. I'm so I know. I'll get there. Look at this. Stephen Miller seems to be manufacturing a story of insurrection. He's not. We did go over that, how he's not. Like that's wrong. You see what I'm saying? Like this is not accurate at all to say that. To say that he seems to be. Oh, that's how they're able to do it. Why they keep talking about the Insurrection Act. Okay. I don't know why I can't find, you know, here it is. Look, MAGA over here. See, MAGA attempts to rig the election and the importance of South Park. Oh, it says we cannot wait for the ballot box in November 2026. So that was from September that she wrote that. And that's just one of many claims that they make. So they're like, they're going to do this, you know, the Republicans and Trump and stuff like, so I just don't know how that can be. I mean, I'm glad that we're, you know, able to talk a little bit more about election integrity now, I guess. I guess. But they don't even realize though that people that you weren't are in a way. Like now it's just free to say, like, you know, they're gonna try and rig the, like, why? How is that even acceptable? How is that even okay? MAGA attempts to rig the election. Like, is it? No, I mean, really, this is a good question. Like, is it because she didn't say Trump? Is it because she said MAGA, and MAGA can be construed as like, but what sort of dog whistle are you putting out there? Like, what do you, like, if we're being vague in, you know, what the rules are and stuff, that should still be a strike or something. Let's go to the video that we're going to watch of her, and then we're going to wrap it up. Oh, this is funny. She talks about Steve Bannon a little bit. So here. Oh, this is the thing. This is the part where she talks about how to, okay, I'll do this real quick. So 3 weeks ago or around that time, I saw a video, because I just get promoted this stuff on YouTube. Like because I'm doing research here, and I just get promoted these videos, and I went to go back to find this video today, and I just could not find this headline or this video that she had here. And so I'm going to try and find it now. Here it is. I'm going to just hold it up because I didn't send it. Okay. So it was a 12-minute clip of the title, "We Need People Who Know How to Build a Movement." Okay. It says, what's going to happen with the 2026 election? Okay. Now I couldn't find, I took a photo of that because I was like, oh, I'm going to go back and read that or watch that after. And I went to go back to find it today, and I couldn't find it anywhere in all of her short clips. So I wondered if they took that down. Here's the clip though, because it's still up. Like the full video is still up.
Things here. You asked about the 2026 election and what's going to happen with the 2026 election. And you also asked in that context about Steve Bannon's statement today that Donald Trump would run again in 2028, and they had a plan for that. Now, let's step back just a little bit on that and start from the premise again. And one of the things I was thinking about talking today, and I was thinking one of the things that's always worth thinking about is if you were going to do something, how would you do it? Because that shows you how much of stuff that you're afraid of maybe doesn't come to pass. So like literally one of the things that I would used to say to my students, if you got to start a movement, how are you going to do it? Like literally, how are you going to do it? Well, you're going to find a friend or two and you're going to start talking. But, pretty soon, for example, you need to be able to identify other people who think like you do. So what are you going to do? Maybe clothes, maybe a flag. But if it's going to be a flag, it's going to be a really simple flag because you got to be able to just do it really quickly. If it's a popular flag, you just work through how you would literally do something. So in the case of Trump running again, literally, how would you do that? There is a constitutional amendment saying he can't. However, we already have a blueprint that he tried in 2020, which was that they would simply refuse to recognize the legitimate election of a Democrat. And that I think we can absolutely see coming, not least because of the fact that the administration is putting election deniers into important places. They're trying to get rid of voting rights in a number of states. They're trying to gerrymander the states in such a way that the the Republicans get a huge leg up. The Supreme Court is certainly considering throwing out the Voting Rights Act, which will give the Republicans another 19 seats in the House of Representatives. You can see steel already into place. That's a real that talk about more and write about more in the future. I want to get in before that today. But now let's think about really what that looks like in 2020. In 2028.
Okay. Yeah. So election deniers. Wow. Now we're entering the segment of who's going to tell them? Who's going to tell her? Do you think maybe, Head, you think maybe that you might be borderlining into, dare I say, election denialism territory? 6, 7. I don't know. I'm just asking. I'm not sure. I'm just trying to put the pieces together too, as it seems you are also. So I think that is a clip from her, How to Start a Movement. I think that might actually be where that was from. And then I'm curious as to why they took it down. I'm not sure, but they left it in the queue there. Or they left it in the entire video, both on YouTube and the Facebook Lives. So yeah, so I mean, I don't think that's a bad point to make about how would he literally do that. I think that she mixed it in with that How to Start a Movement, because then on her Facebook page, she posted some more information on, so it was sort of like a marketing piece about like a card campaign. And then going to this website, I don't know what it is. It's just sort of talking about how the No Kings, I think she called it the No Kings Revolution, was so successful. I'm paraphrasing, was so successful. And thank you to the organizers, who made it such a success, and like we're growing, and this is how it works. And so, yeah, you can check that out on her Facebook page. I posted it on my Telegram channel. If you want to check that out there, where I'd seen, and you can also actually post to YouTube now, like notes, right? So you can, yeah. So yeah, I mean, I'm a consumer of YouTube, but like I said, being a creator on YouTube is a whole new thing for me. So I'm just, again, winging it. I mean, we've been winging it on Rumble for so long, and we just got this new computer and camera and the new Wi-Fi thing. So it's all been working. We're just chugging along. We're doing it. I think so. We're still here to tell the tale. Thank you, Jesus. So, yeah. So how would Trump actually do that? I think she does do the right chronological ordering, and how would that work? And then citing Bannon, because he's been making the rounds talking about that. And if Trump would try and do another term, and are people really worried about that? And I don't know, man. They go on so many different twists and turns. They're like, Trump's not doing well. He's not doing well at all. And like, is JD Vance going to be able to, like, do we really want JD Vance to be the one to take over? Is he really able? But Trump's not doing so well. So it's like, do you want him to be doing well so JD Vance doesn't become the president? Or, what do you, I mean, I know I can speculate what they actually want, of course, but I'm saying based on their own talking points and messaging, I'm just asking based on that. So we've hit the hour and 2-minute mark. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Happy Election Day. I hope it's a good one for you, as it is for me, and I will catch you next time.